They say in life, you never really know what tomorrow holds. But this morning, Kenya woke up to news that stopped many in their tracks. Former Lugari MP and national political figure Cyrus Jirongo is dead. At just after 3 a.m. on the busy Nairobi-Nakuru highway, his car collided head-on with a Climax coach bus, and that collision turned tragedy into finality. A man once larger than life brought suddenly and shockingly to silence. When the first reports started circulating online, the mood was heavy: confusion, disbelief, sadness, and a sense of collective pause that swept across Kenya. Because unlike other headlines that fade with time, this one hit deep. It hit personal. The bus driver, Kamau Githinji, who has been behind the wheel for 8 years, gave an account that stripped away speculation and laid bare the raw reality of what happened on that stretch of highway. He spoke calmly but understandably shaken, explaining how early in the morning he was driving from Nairobi toward Busia with 65 passengers on board when Jirongo's Mercedes pulled out from a petrol station into the highway and straight into his lane. Githinji said he considered swerving, but to do so would likely have flipped his bus, endangering the lives of everyone on board. So he held his course, and in those split seconds, there was no escape from what followed. Kichwa na kichwa, head-on impact. The driver didn't even know at the time whose vehicle he had collided with. It was only when police arrived at the scene that Githinji learned the devastating truth. He later offered his condolences to Jirongo's family, a gesture of humanity in a moment marked by loss. And just like that, Kenya lost a figure whose presence in public life spanned decades, a man whose name was synonymous with bold influence and controversy. Cyrus Jirongo was not a politician who ever fit into a simple box. He was flamboyant, bold, unapologetic, and unafraid to challenge the status quo. Born on March 21, 1961, he first rose to prominence in the early 1990s as head of youth for KANU 92, a group that played a pivotal role in shaping the multi-party politics of the era, and a force that mixed youthful energy with raw political muscle. He went on to serve as a member of parliament for Lugari from 1997 to 2002, and later carved out a reputation as a seasonal businessman and political strategist, never shy of controversy or headline-making moves. He was known for a flamboyant lifestyle and a sharp mind that saw him weave through Kenya's political terrain with equal parts charisma and provocation.
But I have bad manners. My eyes kept on seeing because they are bigger. So she took off because I kept on seeing others. And I saw another 3. And she said, no, me, I can't stand this character. Ako na tabia mbaya, anapenda. Akiona huyu, anataka. Akiona huyu, anataka. So after that, Karo married Munywa. Ndio mnaona hiyo majina mengi.
But in those early hours of Saturday, behind the wheel of that prized white Mercedes-Benz, all of that stopped. Not in a drawn-out battle with illness or in the comfort of home, but in a flash on a stretch of highway. His vehicle was badly damaged, and responders confirmed that he sustained critical injuries that ended his life on the spot. Back in his home village of Lumakanda, the atmosphere this morning was somber, heavy with grief and shock. Family members and friends were seen gathering, some on phones, others sitting quietly in stunned silence, the tragedy settling over them like a cloud. Ni huzuni tele. That was the feeling in the air. People leaned on one another as news sank in, that someone who once commanded crowds and headlines was now a memory being comforted and mourned. Across political lines, tributes poured in. President William Ruto described Jirongo as a relentless go-getter, a seasoned businessman, and a consummate politician who never let life define him. He defined it instead. Ruto called him blunt yet warm, bold yet approachable, generous to a fault and unfailingly supportive of others when they needed it most. Kwa kweli, alikuwa rafiki wa wengi. The president said, offering condolences to his family and friends on social media. Gideon Moi, KANU chairman, remembered him as a loyal and confident presence, a man who spoke proudly of his family and carried a sense of responsibility into every space he entered. Alikuwa na ucheshi na aliishi maisha yake kwa nguvu. Moi said he was humorous, confident and lived life with force. Other leaders echoed the sentiment, from Moses Wetangula, who spoke of the indelible mark Jirongo left on Kenya's political landscape, to Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi, who called off his birthday celebrations in respect. Hii ni pigo kubwa kwa taifa. One leader said, this is a big blow to the nation. And it wasn't just politicians offering words of comfort. Ordinary Kenyans took to social media with stories of moments they shared, times they crossed paths with Jirongo, some critical, some grateful, some puzzled by his fierce style but always aware of his larger-than-life presence. One commenter recalled how years ago, Jirongo's generosity helped with school fees for a whole term when he dished out 500 shilling notes that were at the time the largest denomination in circulation. That alone became folklore among Kenyans, a reminder of how unpredictable and impactful his life could be. And yet, alongside the mourning, there remains the sobriety reality of road safety. That a single moment, a decision on the highway, can end a life just as powerfully as any political defeat or personal battle. It's a reminder that no matter the wealth, no matter the status, we all travel the same roads of life and morality. Barabara haina huruma kwa mtu yeyote. As some Kenyans noted, the road shows no mercy. As the day goes on, more details will undoubtedly surface. Authorities are completing investigations, family members are preparing for final rites, and a nation is adapting to the absence of a man who never quite faded into the background. For some, he was a mentor. For others, a mystery. For many, simply a memorable figure who shaped discussion, divided opinion, and stirred imagination. Today, Kenya pauses. We reflect on the unpredictability of life, that a leader can be taken not on the battlefield of politics, but on the asphalt of an ordinary morning until recently filled with plans. And though many questions swirl in the collective conversation online, the confirmed accounts from loved ones and the bus driver alike point to one heartbreaking truth. A tragic road accident claimed the life of a man whose story was as complex as the history of this nation itself. May his soul find peace. May the families, friends, and communities it touched find strength during this painful time. Kumbuka kuwa afya, maisha na upendo vinatuwezesha kuendelea mbele. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Bye bye for now.
Natoka Nairobi nikienda Busia. Mercedes wakati aliingia kwa hakugifwe. Aliingia kwa mafuta kwa barabara na akaona pande yake gari zimeweka jamu. Akaamua kuja penye niko. Tukakutana kichwa na kichwa na yeye. Gari ndogo ilikuwa na mtu mmoja. Gari yangu ilikuwa na abiria 65.
Kuna mtu alipona majani.
Wakati nilijaribu kuokoa nikasikia gari yangu inaenda chini. Sasa mimi nikanyaga akakuja kama ameniingia. Baadaye ndio askari walipokuja ndio nikasikia ni mheshimiwa Cyrus Jirongo. Pole.